everyone. Bienvenidos. How are you guys doing today? I am wondering, for those of you who are tuning in, if you're still working, when do you start getting time off for Christmas? I'm just curious, like how many of you are like already kind of mentally checked out for the rest of the year? How many of you are still trying to, burn in the midnight oil so that you can get everything done that you need to do before the end of the year? I'm just curious. So welcome to today's live stream. Today's live stream is not about working by any means, but I assume that a lot of you are getting off of work, and I just wanted to know. Today is all about Maricarmen and Mark, a couple that lives in Guadalajara, Jalisco. For those of you who have no idea where Guadalajara is, it's a beautiful city. It's Mexico's second largest city, and it's located in the state of Jalisco, which is in the central highlands of Mexico. About a 5-6 hour drive from Mexico City, if you're familiar with where Mexico City is. Very beautiful, full of history, gorgeous architecture, amazing food, right?
Yes.
I would argue some of the best food.
Mm-hmm.
Although, maybe people in Mexico City, my family would probably disown me if I said that. But yeah, just a really nice city. And I know a lot of you guys are curious at home about it and what it's like and all those things. So we're going to dive in today. I want to welcome my guests, Maricarmen and Mark. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Maricarmen has been working and I've been doing not a lot. So yeah, wonderful for me.
Such is life. For those of you who have never joined one of these live streams before, these are for you guys. I'm going to ask them a couple of questions just to kind of get the conversation going. But by all means, you guys should post in your questions. So go ahead and start typing in the comment section what questions you guys have for Maricarmen and Mark right now or throughout the live stream as we get into it. So I see that Cindy, hey, you were one of the first people here and you're always on every single show. I want to thank you so much for your support.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Brad and Sarah, thank you so much for saying hello. So first and foremost, Mark, this question is for you. Like, why did you choose Guadalajara?
Right. Well, the simple reason is because Maricarmen lives here.
Oh.
As we said before the show started, we met on Goodreads, which is a book reading and reviewing site, and we've known each other for about 2.5, 3 years as friends. And then at the start of this year, maybe a bit longer, we became a lot closer and had a long distance relationship for, I don't know, since then. And I came over for a holiday earlier in the year, and we both thought that we would like to try living together in the city. Maricarmen comes from Zapopan, which is a little bit outside of...
It's pretty much stuck to Guadalajara. Zapopan, Guadalajara, Tlaquepaque, Tonalá, and others have become a metropolitan city. It's a large city, and it's just part of everything. But yes, I've been living here for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So it's really because of Maricarmen living here, but also Mexico has always interested me, as other countries. I've been to other Spanish-speaking countries like Spain and Argentina for periods of time, and I've enjoyed the culture, the food in particular, and the people, the football. It's just a bonus that Maricarmen comes from Mexico. So here we are. Yeah.
And what a lovely lady Maricarmen is, by the way, Mark. You really lucked out.
That's exactly right. I did like that.
So sweet.
Yes, I'm the lucky one.
You guys make a great couple. I'm sure people are wondering, like, and we'll get into this. I hope that you're okay with getting into this, but I'm sure they're wondering, like, what are the differences between dating a Latina woman, right? Somebody from Mexico versus maybe somebody from Australia. For people who might be wondering, like, what are there differences in like cultural differences and that courtship and stuff?
Wow. These are really complicated questions because it's hard to generalize, right? I think like Maricarmen's just like, she's a very easygoing person, intelligent, funny, makes me laugh. And we have a similar interest in books and football and food. She's one of the only women I've ever met who knows the offside rule in football, which is amazing. So yeah, we enjoy football together. But I think it's more cultural rather than Maricarmen being a Latina. Like things tend to happen on their own time frame. I've noticed in Mexico, and I noticed the same in Argentina when I was there. Like everything seems to be a bit later. Like lunch happens at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and
yeah.
We've normally had lunch at 12 o'clock, and so. But this is all small stuff, and I've kind of adjusted to it now. But as far as a Latina, I have had one other Latina girlfriend many years ago, and it's very hard to generalize. So I'm reluctant to do so. But yeah, it's more cultural than Maricarmen per se. How's that for getting out of a difficult question?
Yeah, no, I love it. You answered it without having to answer it. I love it.
No, but it's true. It is true. Maricarmen is very family oriented, which is, as am I, but I think there's a family, as you well know, is very strong in countries like Mexico. Maricarmen has 4 sons, adult sons. So we were in Mexico City on the weekend for her youngest son's graduation. That's the priority. That's the focus, So
maybe for some people that is kind of a difference if they do plan on dating in Mexico, is that family does tend to come first. Obviously, it varies from person to person how close they are with their family, but overall, in general, family tends to come first. So when you start dating somebody, you will most likely meet like an extended amount of family, assuming that everyone lives in the same city.
That's exactly right. That is right.
Yeah. And it can be overwhelming for some people at first.
Well, it was, and I will just share that. I did find the whole thing overwhelming because I didn't realize it was so formal. I thought it was just a jacket and jeans thing, but it's not. And I had to hire a suit, and I haven't done that for like 3 decades. So if Maricarmen would have said to me, "Oh, you can stay home," I would have said yes.
But I wouldn't allow it.
But that wasn't going to happen.
No, of course not.
It was a deal breaker. So it's you come or you come. Choose.
Yeah. Now, Mark,
he had a great time. He ended up having a fantastic time, and I think it was worth it.
It was definitely worth it. It was good.
Yeah. Mexican parties are amazing. What's not to have fun about? Everyone dances. Everyone has a good time. It's a great time. It usually goes into the wee hours of the night, and so if you're not prepared for that, get prepared for it because they don't end early. So, what challenges, Mark, would you say that you just moved 3 weeks ago, right? Like permanently moved. I know that you had visited Maricarmen before and you had visited Guadalajara, but you just moved 3 weeks ago?
No, well, close enough. 2 months, so a very small amount.
Okay. 2 months ago. That's right, because we've talked for about a month now over email, and that was when you mentioned 3 weeks ago. So it's still fresh in your mind, this this permanent move. What would you say some of the challenges are that are like coming top to mind that maybe you weren't prepared for, that maybe some people might want to know?
Well, it's really busy, like hectic, and like Mexico City is busy again on another level. It's just nuts. But Guadalajara is, I like to compare it to Sydney, which is a big city too, similar population. So I thought Sydney was busy, but Guadalajara is a lot busier. I don't have my wheels yet. I'm selling a motorbike in Australia, but as soon as I get that, I'll get my motorbike here, and it's just going to be a whole different level of riding, I think, in the traffic here, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I think the fact that it's busy really hit me. The Spanish hit me. I mean, I've been learning Spanish on and off for about 8 or 9 years, so I've got this kind of unstructured, ad hoc thing, and it's just. I feel like I know less Spanish now than I did 2 months ago because it's really not my confidence. I mean, these guys speak so fast, and I'm just now starting to pick out words. Whereas when I first got here, I couldn't pick out anything, and I thought I'd be okay. So, but I'm slowly making myself understood and understanding people like Uber drivers and people who are serving a beer or coffee. The people surprised me how friendly they are. That's not to say I thought Mexicans would be unfriendly, but they are super friendly. Really. I mean, I went to Italy for a period of time many years ago, and I had a few instances where I didn't have the same experience. Spain was pretty friendly, but just Argentina, perhaps not. But here, yes. I mean, everybody is really helpful. In fact, I find the opposite. I find people are a bit reluctant to speak out of being shy. for some reason. And as soon as you try and speak to them in broken Spanish, you just open the floodgates, and then it's fun. I've never been to a place like it, so it's wonderfully friendly.
People love him.
Wonderfully friendly.
People fall in love with Mark. They just see him, he's just sweetness. So people they love to help him. And of course,
I think if you make an effort and not be too scared to make an ass out of yourself, I think they don't mind. And so that's good.
Yeah, you're going to make mistakes at the beginning when you're learning a new language. It's okay. Like, it's totally okay.
Yeah, I've made some hilarious mistakes. The other thing is the bureaucracy here, because I've had to organize a lot of things, right? Of course. I had the bureaucracy in Australia at first, dealing with the Mexican consulate to get my temporary visa. So that was good, but it was long-winded and difficult because we didn't go through the partner path, because we haven't lived together until now. So we went through my own financial sustainability path, which was very difficult, lots of documents, but we got that. And then once I was over here, I had to get my visa at the government Department of Immigration, and I've had to get my ERA FSA, which is like a tax number.
You're on top of it.
Yeah, so there's all these little jobs I'm knocking off, but it takes ages. And I think it's a combination of me not speaking the language totally. And also I think there's a little bit of, I think the rules tend to change. When you research something like on Copilot, it'll tell you that you need A, B, and C, and you go to the bank to open an account, but you really need A, B, C, and D. And
by the way, you go the following day and then they happen to need E also. They just didn't tell you the day before. Yeah.
Yes. So
Mexican bureaucracy is that way.
Yes, I think that's the biggest challenge, but you don't get angry with it. I have come home and thought, I thought I had everything ready, and you do get a little bit mad, but you just sort it out, and it's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yes, but it happens also to Mexicans. This is not like a foreign thing. We locals also get mad at that. So it's a normal procedure.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, even us locals hire facilitators and gestores for all these kinds of things. So,
that's right.
Even though we speak the language and we know, like, we value our time. So and a gestor or a facilitator usually knows exactly what is needed.
Yes.
Even if it's not posted on a government site, or even if you asked somebody in information desk and they told you XYZ, but they didn't tell you ABC. So anyway, Maricarmen understands.
Yes, but I would definitely advise that they do it as Mark. He investigated and did everything. He's been very, very efficient. In fact, I'm learning from him. He's been very good at this, and he's tackling things better than us Mexicans. So I think if you use his approach, you're going to be just fine.
But that's largely also because of time. I'm retired, so I've got a lot of time on my hands. So
that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, you have the time to go back to the office the following day and wait in line for 2-3 hours. And
that's exactly right.
Which a lot of people watching this channel most likely will also. I mean, there are some people who will most likely, who will or might work from home. But I would say, the majority of people that watch Mexico Relocation Guide are either at near retirement or already retired. Okay. So they have a lot more time on their hands to deal with bureaucratic processes. Okay. So I totally get it. And, a lot of it does have to do with your attitude, Mark. So I can see why things work out for you, because, you don't get really frustrated, which I know a lot of people have.
I can imagine.
Or do get frustrated, and it just doesn't really do anything for you.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. There is a lot of fun to be had by researching and being curious about it. But sometimes it does get a bit tiring. But yeah.
Now, speaking of the chaos in Guadalajara, and I think that, being a really big city, it's completely normal for it to have a lot of traffic, a lot of people. But maybe, as for people who are watching from home and are kind of deciding what city is right for me, those are things you have to take into consideration. You really should visit a city before deciding that you're going to move somewhere, because no amount of videos, right? No amount of blog posts are going to ever replace your personal experience.
Yeah.
So you like big cities. You obviously enjoy, but you also moved into a neighborhood, which is Colonia Americana, that has pretty much everything around it. So you don't need a car, you don't need a lot of public transportation in order for you to get the essentials.
Yeah.
So is that why you chose it? Is that why you decided?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about this, and we originally we wanted to move in a place in Zapopan, closer to where I work, but and of course it's more residential, more like families living, and which is very nice. But if you want to go and visit places and have cafes, restaurants, visit cultural, I don't know, galleries, museums, stuff. It's not you would have to plan ahead and probably just go on the weekend. And if you want to go, maybe you would spend the whole day just going to one place, and also you have to find the parking spot or have to find the correct place. Or if you want to Uber, probably the Uber is going to cost 300 400 pesos, which is costly for here.
Yeah, $15, $20. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. So I would say if I would be a mom with young kids, I would prefer to be in the outer skirts and have those live in a more calm place. But this place, I thought it would be perfect for Mark because like he said, I work all day, and he spends more time at home. So we're living in a building that is very secure, is very safe, and it's got lots of things that he doesn't have to go out. For example, we have a gym, we have a pool, and security all day, so we don't have to be worried about that. And he can just walk around and find lots of restaurants. If he wants to go downtown, he can take an Uber like 10 minutes, 15 minutes the most, and it's gonna be cheap and safe. It's not gonna take too long, and he can even walk there or go in an Uber and come back walking. And he's gonna find all the things that he is interested in getting to know the city. Also, I found out something very interesting today. One of my friends told me that she said, well, do you know why is Colonia Americana called Colonia Americana? I was like, no. And she said, because many years ago, about probably in the 50s or 60s, this colonia was the place where many expats used to come and live here. Okay. And they built all these homes that are here. The architecture is beautiful. And that's why it was called the Colonia Americana, because you could come here and find lots of tourists and people that moved in to live in the city. So it's very interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting to note that I haven't noticed too many. Is gringo a polite word?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
It's
yeah, I don't know whether,
it's all in the context. If you're trying to say it in a derogatory way, then yeah, of course. But
yeah,
no,
well,
I know you're saying
I'm quite happy to be referred to as a gringo. So I don't see very many people around, one or two, if that's it. There's not like hordes of them. So it's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Different to when we went to Ajijic for, is that how you, Ajijic?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally different. But yeah, it's yeah, not too many.
Well, for starters, Ajijic is a much smaller town, so
yeah,
the 5% of or the 10 or 15% of foreigners that lives there makes it seem like a lot more, because it's like a much smaller population.
Indeed. Yes.
If in Guadalajara you have 20% or 10% foreigners, they're going to be way more scattered around, right?
Of course.
That is right.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you would say that for sure, if somebody's considering Colonia Americana, they don't need a car.
Absolutely. No, unless if they were coming over as expats, not working like where Maricarmen works, where you would need a car, you could survive here without a car.
Yes. Also, many people live here because there are many companies, many offices, many corporate offices around close. So I think that's also why many people, also from other places of Mexico, they move in here. And young people, we are 3 blocks from an avenue that's called Avenida Chapultepec, which is a very, very popular avenue here. It's got all these things going on. So whenever we go, we'll always find lots of people.
The live music scene is amazing. You've seen some great, just stumbled into a bar and there's been a band there and they've played some great music. Well, we've had 3 or 4 of those nights.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a real vibrant place for young and old, I would say.
Yes.
And we are oldish, old.
With a very young heart.
Yeah, well put. Well put.
Very jovial.
Yeah.
If you're going out after this to go get some tacos, you're very jovial. I would already be like, putting on my socks and my PJs and calling it a night. So
yeah, well, we might do that.
nothing to
Yeah,
do
but
with
I
it.
don't think so. Yeah, we might go out. Yeah, but, I am looking forward to though, as an expat, to getting my motorbike so I can explore and go to other places. So having that freedom, I just haven't quite got that yet.
Have you ever rented one to kind of do a test drive and kind of get the culture of driving a motorbike?
No, I think it's like, I don't know, it's like lending somebody a golf putter. It's a very personal thing. I just want to get so I'll sell mine and get my particular bike. And then once I've got that, there'll be no stopping me. It'll be a lot of fun, even more fun. There's so much to see, so much to see.
Now, you guys mentioned that your building has a lot of security, and I know that question comes up a lot in, a lot of the groups of, is Mexico safe? And I'm curious to see how you guys feel about that. Like, why was having your building security important to you? And do you feel safe, like walking around in your neighborhood or going out by yourselves or, doing all kinds of activities?
Okay. So, do you want to get the one?
Yes, I would say that yeah, this was very crucial for me too. I've been living, the last 25 years here, and there's a very typical form of home accommodation here that it has. One is called condominium or coto, and it's basically a group of houses surrounded by a wall and an entrance, and so all the neighbors there have the same. They have a guard. They pay for it, for the security, for the cleaning of the common places, but these are houses. And this other option is like in a building, with apartments. This is the one where we are now, and I have never particularly felt unsafe, let's say, like that in the city. Of course, we hear about all these horrible things that happen every day, and just out of that, unfortunately, it does not happen to me. So, but I prefer to be like that, and also because, we also have pets, and it's much easier, if you have a safe place, if you can walk your pets, your dogs, and if you travel, you can close your house and go, and without feeling that, somebody's going to break in or something, because we always hear these stories that if you are just right on the street, sometimes the people would break into your house and, steal or something. And
if anybody's targeting you or kind of notices that you're gone for an extended amount of time.
Probably. There's also groups of people that in neighborhoods, they have come together, the neighbors, and they are they are like in a neighbor watch. Like if someone is going to leave, they have WhatsApp groups and they check out on each other. But I just feel like I prefer to relax and just know it's much, if you can afford it, it's much safer. And but also even in the outskirts of the city, where there are much cheaper houses, they also have this system. So even if you want to be in a smaller house and everything, you can find a very safe place. Like you don't have to think, oh, I'll have to spend lots and lots of money to find a safe place to live. No, I think you can find lots of affordable places.
I think so. Sorry, Mari, as like walking around here a lot, and particularly in the early stages, like before we had a washing machine, I had to take like 2 bags of washing machine to another part of the city or the area, and it looked a bit sketchy, but I just plowed on. And I must say, I've never felt unsafe, even in the rougher looking areas around here. If I've had to ask people for directions, they've always said buenas tardes or buenos dias. People say that a lot here. It's a bit like in Australia in a way. People say good day all the time,
Yeah.
Particularly in the smaller cities. If you say good day in Sydney, they think you're you're an idiot. But I think in the smaller places, they appreciate so there's a bit of a small country town vibe here.
That's right.
Everyone's saying hello. So, but I haven't had one moment where I felt unsafe. Not one. Not saying it can't happen.
Yeah, no, we're not discrediting anybody's else's experience who might have actually
of course,
had crime happen.
Anywhere.
Yeah, of course. Everything that you can do to make yourself safe, of course, it's something that you have to consider all the time. But we are very lucky that we haven't had to go through, a bad experience like that.
Yeah, that's really good. I bring it up because I know that a lot of people are watching us they haven't moved to Mexico yet.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they're thinking about doing a scouting tour or like a scouting trip. They haven't really explored yet. Maybe they've been to a resort town. Maybe they've actually gone to Guadalajara. But maybe they don't live there yet. So they don't know that like these are common practices. And it kind of sends the alarm bells to a lot of people of, oh, what does that mean? Does that mean that city's not safe? Yeah. And it's very common in big cities. You'll see it in Querétaro, you'll see it in Monterrey, in, Mexico City for sure, Guadalajara, all these really big cities in Cancun. It's very common for condominiums and like Maricarmen said, these, gated communities to have a guard in the front. And they do more than just guard your house. Like they receive packages and, these other things that like maybe a driver doesn't go up to directly to your home. So they're just kind of like a gatekeeper for your privacy.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
I quite like it. I think it's good.
Yeah, it is nice. And in the smaller towns, it's less common. It's more common for you to have like your house, like Maricarmen said, just straight on the street. It doesn't mean that you're like in any more danger. It's just a different culture that you will see in more like smaller towns versus really big cities. Where crime is probably more prevalent in bigger cities than it is in smaller towns. So have you guys talked to any other foreigners living in Guadalajara or in Mexico in general in Guadalajara?
I've met one American, one United States American. And that was when I had an afternoon out. I think I had probably a bad day with bureaucracy. So I thought, I'm going to go up to a hotel and a bar and have a couple of beers. So I went up there and then I came back and had some tacos. And I spoke to a guy from Florida, I think, big boy. And that's it. I don't think I've spoken to any other non-Mexicans in 2.5 months. It's amazing.
So how do you think, Maricarmen, just in general, like your experience from things that have been on the news and, maybe even you too, Mark, like, how do you think Mexicans view this influx of foreigners moving to Mexico, or maybe your family for that matter, like, since it's close to your perspective?
Yeah, I when I watch the news, I feel horrified, I would freeze. And also, it's very common that we would think, oh, Mexico City is so dangerous. You go in the street and you think they're gonna rip off your phone the moment that you get there. And when you get there and you see it's so beautiful, so calm, and so safe, and it's like, So yes, there is there are things happening that we cannot deny. The news are there, but we also have to be conscious that is not everywhere, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that the country is completely unsafe.
Yes.
I mean, of course, if you are very unlucky and you are in a position where right now some states are considered not safe, but I would say Guadalajara, Mexico City, Querétaro, there are many places that are I've been living here for so many years, and
it's also not unique to Mexico, is it? Like these are like the gentrification protests are happening in Europe too, in Italy and Spain and France. So it's not unique, and I think people here are quite right to be concerned, like the locals, about the prices of real estate going up and them not having the capacity to match that. So, but on a personal level, I've never seen any resentment from anybody, and I don't think they would. I think even people in those protests, my guess would be, on an individual level, they would be fine talking to us.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
not a personal thing. It's I think it's quite a reasonable protest on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Myself.
But
Yeah.
you haven't personally felt like you're not welcomed or you're not.
The opposite.
Okay.
The opposite. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with you. I think the protests are a good conversation piece or like a good initiative, right?
Correct.
For the government to do something about rent control and helping like the locals not get priced out. I think it's good to have the conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know a lot of people are concerned like, oh, am I going to no longer be welcomed? Am I going to be treated badly or you know?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I bumped into a lot of people, and honestly, I have not even a bad look. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of that has to do with your attitude too. I think you really try to learn the language, like you were telling me. You know, even if you don't know it fluently yet, you're really trying to meet, you know, to integrate, to show them that you're trying to really have respect for the country that you're living in.
Yeah, I think that helps in any non-English speaking country. I think there's lots of stories to testify to that. You know, it could be France or anywhere, so it does help. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, people. I just see the faces when they see that Mark is trying to say something. They just try to help, and they just try to be nice. And some of them, even very, I don't know, people on the streets. That if they try to say at least a couple of words in English to him. And, you know, like to interact with him or something. And it's very nice. It's very nice. People are very kind here.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right. I'm sorry, Marianne. I just want to go back to one of the frustrations. Again, it's more inside than outside. Is obviously coming from Australia, and I worked for a long time. So you're capable in your own country. You're 100% capable. I can pick up the phone and organize stuff. Like here, I can't pick up the phone because phone conversations are totally different to face, as you know. It's impossible at this stage. So I've always got to ask Maricarmen to phone up. So you do feel a little bit useless from time to time. And very humbling, actually. So it's probably a good thing. But that's another frustration.
Yeah, I get that. The phone is that is a big deal. Yeah, if you need to pay your credit card or you need to change your internet service or you need to go in person to do these things because otherwise the phone is just going to be really. They're working on that technology, I hear, but you know, I don't know that it'll be available anytime soon. Those like, you know, earbuds that translate in real time and those kinds of things. We'll see if they're actually any good, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take some questions from the audience?
Sure. Yes.
So Zerubbabel says, how is the vegan scene in Guadalajara? Do you guys eat many plant-based restaurants or food?
Well, we don't generally, but one of Maricarmen's sons is a vegan, and we had his birthday lunch the other day, so we went to a vegan restaurant, and it was outstanding. I do see them on my daily walks around the place, and there are vegan and vegetarian options around. Have you noticed the same?
Yes, it's a growing thing. You know, it's a thing that has raised awareness, more from younger people, of course. And you can find in the supermarkets. You can get Diego buys this delicious vegan chorizo that is super good.
It's better than the meat one.
Yes, that's right. And there are options. There are options.
Yep, you can
better
definitely
for your cholesterol too.
Indeed, that's right.
Yeah. Although there is nothing like Mexican chorizo, I will say. You know, it has a very particular flavor, but probably better for your heart. So somebody's wondering, like, they felt a little out of place. They stayed in Colonia Americana last year because they're a senior citizen. So should they give it another chance? They're going to Guadalajara in February to renew their residency.
Okay. Should I give it another chance? I suppose it's hard to answer if we don't know why.
Why did you feel out of place? Maybe you can give us some insight into that. But do you feel like, you see people of all ages in your neighborhood of getting around, or do you feel like it's mostly crowd.
I mean,
I see mainly adults. We don't see many children around here.
that's true. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
many children. I know that there are families, but it's probably not the first choice for families to raise young kids. There are lots of people with pets, dogs, cats. Our cat just jumped in our back right now. That's why
I thought I saw that. Yeah.
It's not being rude. It's just our cat.
Yeah, and I did see. It depends what you define as a senior citizen as well. I mean, I'm 62, so but I did see a gentleman who was probably 70, 75 yesterday. That's probably a tourist or an expat. I suppose things you might have difficulty with is probably the pavements are the footwork, the sidewalks they call them in the United States.
Yeah.
They're not what you're used to. Like I'm used to them being smooth but and I've got a dodgy knee, so I do have to be very mindful of those types of things. But we certainly haven't.
Yeah, there's lots of old trees, and sometimes their roots have bumped out of the pavement, and so they are also on the sidewalk, and you just have to watch it out. You have to be careful. But it's something that we Mexicans do it all the time, so we are like kind of used to that, and it's like I'm used to smooth. I'm like, where is that?
Yeah,
Smooth
this
here?
Disneyland of like everything's perfect is in another country. Yeah, totally. It's what adds to the charm, I say. But yeah, for the person that asked that, I would agree with them without knowing much, of why you felt out of place. It's hard
It would
to
be interesting
like
to know. Please tell us, so we can see.
Give us some comments on that.
Yeah,
I definitely think you should give it another try, but maybe you're more of a smaller town person, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong with any one of these cities.
Correct.
So I would say, hey, if you really like big cities, I would argue also that the larger the city, the more amenities it has. So the better infrastructure, an international airport, better hospitals,
indeed,
those kinds of things.
And we went to see Frankenstein at the cinema the other night, and it's the best cinema I've ever been in all my life. I mean, I felt like I was in a space shuttle. The chair was so comfortable, and I've never seen anything like it. So you're constantly surprised about how smart some of the stuff is, how swish and brilliant. It was just great, wasn't it?
Yes, it was wonderful.
And a wonderful film, I will say.
Oh my God, such a good movie. Yeah,
indeed.
Such a good movie. For those of you who are wondering, and I don't know, Mark, if there's many direct flights to Australia from Guadalajara. You have to go to Mexico City, I assume.
We can either go from here to Dallas.
Okay.
And then from Dallas to pretty much anywhere, or since the government in the United States have this social media rule now, I probably won't be able to go via Dallas. So there are options. I can go.
Your rule. Please enlighten me.
Oh, some social media might see something political.
Oh, how they might detain you if you ever criticize the government or something.
Oh yeah, I might have done, but that's a free society, isn't it? But I would rather now probably go to Mexico City, and from there you can go to Europe and then down to Sydney or Melbourne. So but nothing direct. Nothing direct from.
But there are direct flights, or any of you guys who are watching from the States, and even
lots.
Lots from Houston, Dallas,
from Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles. I think Chicago too, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably Chicago. I don't know if you found
I'm not sure.
flights to Chicago. I don't know.
Sure. But there's for people from North America, or I know Mexico is North America too, but there's lots of options for sure.
And if not, there's a lot of connecting flights to Mexico City that take you, directly to pretty much anywhere in the world. It's one of the biggest hub airports. So somebody's saying, they're just wondering about the safety. Now, Maricarmen, maybe you can actually end this dispute once and for all. Is Guadalajara the second largest city, or is it Monterrey?
I would say if in extension, I would say Guadalajara, and in industrial development, I would say Monterrey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think there's much difference in population.
Is that right?
I'm not sure. I'll have to investigate.
In Guadalajara?
About 5 million, I think.
About well, all the metropolitan area is about 4 million, and only Guadalajara, I think it's 1.5 million. But as I said, Guadalajara just has extended so much, and that the metropolitan area is just absorbed many of the suburbs around. Yeah, Zapopan used to be a suburb, now it's just part of everything. Zapopan, Tlajomulco, Tlaquepaque, Tonalá, several. Tesistan, where I work, is also. It's now part of Zapopan. So if you consider all that, is huge.
Yeah. If you count all the surrounding towns, kind of like also, Mexico City's Metroplex. Like if you count all the surrounding little towns around, it's like 21 million people. But if you just count the city itself, it's a lot less.
Yes.
Right. The same with Guadalajara. It's like 4 times less. So Mark, I assume that you're the one that rented the apartment. And I don't know, maybe I'm assuming incorrectly.
Yeah, we are renting. Yep.
Okay. How easy or how hard was it for you to find a place?
It was a little bit harder than I'm used to. Like we needed a guarantor, which is really unusual. I've never experienced that.
An aval?
Aval, that's right.
Yeah. We normally only used to that when you're buying a house.
Yeah.
But and the bureaucracy again was a little bit more convoluted, wasn't it? Well, you don't know what it's like in Australia.
Well, it was. I don't know how it is in Australia, but I was already familiar with. I knew that you need an aval and that you need to pay up front and make a contract, and then once you have once you decide that you like a place and you say I want to get it, it's not just like that. First, they investigate you. They check your credit records. We have the Bureau de Crédito, which is an institution that where they check if you owe money, if you pay, every time, or if you are delayed in your payments and stuff. And so they decide if you will be a good person, to rent.
Yeah, a good tenant. Yeah.
A good tenant, that's right. And then they will tell you. After that, you have to give all these references. You have to have financial references, family references, friendship. And they call them, all of them, and they ask, "Oh, is this an honorable person?" Blah blah blah. So all this process takes a few days, of course.
Yes, it did.
Then we have to get all the people together to sign. When you're approved, they say, "Okay, you were approved." Yay, thank you.
It was quite a process, but there are places available. I found that there were lots of places to choose from, so it's not as though there was a shortage. Happy to rent for the moment. I think our long-term plan is to probably rent here and have an apartment in Adelaide, back in South Australia, and just come backwards and forwards.
Nice, love that.
And quite different places, and that'll be great. Hey.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
What about? I know a lot of people are moving with their pets. So, did they give you any restrictions about your cat or anything specific other than a deposit for an animal?
Yes. Well, not a deposit, no. But when from the beginning, I contacted. I did it with. You can do it by yourself, which is a lot more exhausting or tiring, or because you have to invest a lot of time making calls, checking the availability, checking if it has all the things that you want. And one of the things, I got a realtor, okay, person that helped us, and he made all these investigations, and all the apartments that we looked, they already were pet friendly.
Yeah.
So
you didn't even have to try to negotiate that. Yeah.
Yes. No, we were not gonna try to. If they say no pets, no, goodbye. We not even consider it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you mind telling people a little bit about your place? Like, how big is it? Do you mind telling people how much you pay in rent?
No, I don't mind at all. This is the living area. If you look behind us, it's quite small, but there's only 2 of us and 2 cats. And down there are 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So there's enough for a guest, like when my brother comes over in time, or anyone. One of Maricarmen's sons has a big night in Guadalajara, he can stay here, and all that type of thing, The kitchen is here. So it's all nice and new. It's just right for the two of us.
Yes.
It cost 24,000 Mexican a month, which is roughly about 500 Australian dollars a week, which is about Melbourne prices. So it's not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Melbourne is a big city and it's expensive, and so is Sydney. But we can just afford it with enough money to enjoy ourselves. I think longer term, and you can still get a nice place for half that amount, or maybe 15,000 a month.
Yes.
In Guadalajara. That would be more of a longer term option. But here for a year or two, why not spoil ourselves? You only live once, and we can just afford it, and it's wonderful. But long term, if we want to travel, which we do, I think something a bit less expensive.
Yes, and also once you get your wheels and everything, it will be much easier, to move around.
Correct.
Yeah. Right now, it's important for you to be centrally located to be able to.
Indeed, that's right. It's right. And if this place has about 12 floors, it's a great place to be. Really like it.
Does it come with anything? Like, did it come with electricity or internet or anything else?
Pretty much.
Well, we had to get the internet, but
the cabling was.
Yeah, but all the installations, everything ready for you to just hire any company that you want.
Yeah.
Well, no, depends on the company. Usually the companies wire a place, and then you just have to hire with that company. So in this case, it's Total Play, and then but we have everything. They have the gas, water, what else?
Just everything.
Water, gas, electricity, and internet. Yeah, we have everything was sorted out already for us, so it was.
It's a very new building. There's I don't know. It's probably only a quarter occupied at the moment. You just tell by the car park. There's only like half a dozen cars.
Yeah, that's a very, very telling sign if it's not fully packed every night.
Yeah.
But yeah, just wondering, because I know that some people are wondering, what are some of the safer neighborhoods? What's the average price of a 2-bedroom condo in some of those neighborhoods? And I think it really just depends where in Guadalajara. It really does vary from one location to the next. Even in that neighborhood, and maybe Maricarmen can add into this, even in the same neighborhood, you might find an older building with not such nice like finishes and not so modern, and it might be 5,000 or 7,000 pesos less a month.
Yes. You can find a place for let's say
12 to 13,000 a month. Some of them.
Here in Americana, probably not. But
Americana,
in Americana, you can find, let's say, this is a brand new building with the pool and everything. But if you like you said, probably an older place, but that has also everything, but it's a little older, not the finishes and everything, you can find for 18, 17, even 16, I would say. Also, for example, there were some houses in there pretty big and very, very comfortable. It just depends on, there are many options. Depends on what you like.
And of course, there are places a lot more expensive than this one.
Yes. Many.
Yeah. I've seen them in the 30s and the 40s and the 50,000s. Now, usually they're bigger and maybe they have more amenities, like a really nice gym on site, or, a lap pool that's like fully indoors and heated year round and those kinds of things. So people are also wondering, like, what about the weather? Now, I know that like, for me, Guadalajara has some of the nicest weather in Mexico compared to a lot of cities. And I know that, some people say Ajijic has the best weather. The best weather really is personal, right? Some people love the sun and the beach and the humidity, and like that is all they live for. For me personally, I like that temperate climate where it's not, 90 degrees every single day of the year. Although Guadalajara does get pretty hot in May, June.
Well,
so
the weather
maybe, can you share about the weather?
Yes, it's changed, but I think is the best weather.
Yeah.
Yes, it's basically warm most of the year, and right now we're supposed to be in the cold weather. So in the morning you would put on a sweater, probably a jacket, and you feel chilly but not freezing. And then by midday you are out of everything. You're just wearing a shirt. It's warm,
but not hot.
Exactly, not hot. And in the night you also like, chills again, you have to put on a sweater or something. Nice. But you can be outside, and you can have, you know, the beautiful evenings without feeling terribly cold. The hottest months have become, they used to be May and June, now they are March, April, and May, which there is no rain, and the temperature has increased a lot. I think last year was the hottest year that I've been here. Like, it was really insane. We didn't used to have air conditioning in houses. Now we do. For example, the apartment has air conditioning, and that was also something that we really wanted to have. Not all the houses do have this, because you usually would just need a fan, and that was it.
Yeah.
But right now, a fan would probably not be enough for some people. And what else? During the months of June, July, August, from June to September is the raining season. It's supposed to be summer, but it cools down. It's fresher because of the rain. So you have to be careful with the rain. Sometimes it rains a lot. And if you are in a very centric place, the streets would flood for a couple of hours, and you would think, you know, what's happening here.
I've really noticed that. Like, it hasn't rained much, but if it's rained heavily, some of the streets just totally flood.
Right.
And they also have sinkholes occasionally, don't they? And some of the roads just disappear.
Yeah, depends on the neighborhood.
Depends on the area. Yeah.
But it's not like it's not happening all the time. But
right. This year was a record-breaking rainfall year for all of central Mexico. I mean, all of Mexico, really. But yeah, it happened in Mexico City too. I mean, there was many days where in areas that don't normally flood were flooded every single day for a few hours, right?
Fortunately, it was not like Mexico City, but it can happen. So you just have to take, you know, when we were talking about safety, you know, if you see that there's a lot of rain or something, you need to get home, just be patient. And or just if you're in a restaurant or in a place or at work, just stay there until, you know, it stops raining, you know, things that are going to make you safe that you would probably do in every city, you know. Because you don't want to be exposed and then find that your car is stuck or something.
Yeah. Somebody has been wondering, like, you know, just throwing this in there because somebody's wondering, like, what is the best way to book a relocation tour? We have them all over Mexico, by the way. We recommend local tour guides across the country. So if anybody's wondering where we have relocation tours, these are 100% private relocation tours. We connect you with locals that live in that area, that speak English, they're bilingual, very friendly, and they know that city really well. So they get to tell you, or they get to teach you about it. And that way you get some boots on the ground experience and really get to see different neighborhoods, different areas. And these are not realtors, so they're not like going to try to push you to buy something or rent something if you're not ready to do that. And so anyway, if somebody's wondering how to find that, I'm going to add a link to that page in the comments section.
For me, Mariana, that was Maricarmen.
Yeah, she's the one that showed you around, of course.
I didn't have to worry about that, but I suppose you would. I suppose you would if you didn't, if you came in cold. You'd have to find out how to do that.
It's a little different because you have somebody that knows the culture, even the bureaucratic processes, the language, obviously, like perfectly fluent, you know, very different. So yeah, a lot of people might be coming in. They don't have an aval, for example, so they don't know anybody in Mexico who can co-sign for them and do these things. And so I want to kind of point that out. There are companies that will sell you this insurance in case you don't know anybody.
That's right. Yes.
So you can rent still if you don't have a co-signer in Mexico. It's not like a dead end for you.
Yeah.
Maricarmen, I don't know how much you know, but somebody's wondering, how hard would it be for them to find rentals? Was it really hard for you to find rentals that were pet friendly?
No, it's super easy. And the moment, for example, I was looking for the apartment, and I use Instagram. Depends. Well, I use Instagram. I'm not so much into social media, but the moment that I was looking in my computer or in my phone, I would get like all kinds of ads of rental places and rental sites and if you find a person that really can help you with that, like I was very lucky that just looking for places, I found this person that was really committed to us and helped us. And his name's Pepe, and he helped us all through. He's like,
great.
I didn't like this house, and we would go to another and another, and
I think that's a really important thing. We kind of formed a bit of a business relationship with him, and we kind of left it up to him to then look for places. Because you can go crazy, you can look at too many houses, and it just all gets a bit confusing. And he knew what we wanted, didn't he?
Yes.
He knew our price
That's
range.
a good realtor, yeah.
And he just did his thing, and he presented, because I was still in Australia then, and he presented Maricarmen with options, and then it was good. And remember, we had restrictions. We had the pet restriction, so without that, we would have had even more of a menu to choose from. So there's a lot of options, isn't there?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, that's a good realtor. The ones that listen to you, the ones that actually show you the criteria that you ask them for, that aren't going to have you, trying to rent something that's not in your budget or not in the area that you wanted to be in, or those kinds of things. So yeah, that's a good realtor. But it's also important for people to have realistic expectations, because I think that some people might come with the idea like, oh, it should be so cheap, right? Like it should be half of what I'm paying. And well, it's apples to oranges. It might be half if you're like living in a neighborhood that maybe is worth half, right? Or maybe in a building that's worth half. So it's also important for people to have realistic expectations.
Yes.
I think so. I mean, we were really keen on a 2-story home with 2 bedrooms and a really good condominium on the outskirts of the city.
Yes.
So if you're prepared to, which is about like 14,000
it was
a month.
13,000 a month.
And it was beautiful, and the condo was really new and had an entertainment hall and a pool. So you can still get all of that if you're willing to live a bit further out. If you've got good transport, you can do that. And so there's options for everybody.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yes, like we said, if definitely if I was a mom with little children, we're a family with little children, I would never come here and live in Americana. I would definitely go there. Also, the schools are closer to those areas.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna have a garden and those kinds of things. Yeah.
It really depends on what you really want to do and what stage of your life you're in.
Correct. Yeah.
Any like closing words of advice for people who might be considering a move and they're not really sure, if Mexico's right for them? So any words of advice for them?
Can I say first?
Yeah, of course.
It's pretty simple. I'd say go for it, because it's been brilliant. It's as simple as that. Yes, there are some little things along the road you got to deal with. I'm trying to organize my health insurance at the moment, but it's all doable. It's all doable. The information's out there. There are people who will help you. There are no negatives I can think of, apart from missing my family and friends back in Australia. Of course, you can't avoid that. But I'd say go for it. Yeah.
And somebody is wondering, like, what? So, just so everybody knows, there are basically like 3 levels of healthcare in Mexico. The very, very free one, I would not sign up for that as a foreigner. You should leave that for the Mexican people who really have no other alternative. And then maybe Maricarmen, you disagree with me, but that's what I tell people.
No, that's what I tell people too.
Yeah.
That's what I think exactly the same. Like if you cannot afford anything else, the Mexican health system can help you out, throughout different difficulties. Even if you, for example, you need a surgery, or you're going through a cancer or something, some diseases, some stuff, you probably would go there, because it would, if you go to the private health system, it might be very costly. But also, if you can pay a little, you can find very, very good health care here.
Oh yeah, I think this
I have very good dental care. Yes,
the standard is people shouldn't be concerned about the standard. I mean, I worked in the health system for 35, almost 40 years. So from what I know and understand and what I hear, that the standard here is very, very good. You just got to pay for it. So it's probably not too different to the United States and Canada in that respect.
Well, and even in the Social Security hospitals like IMSS, which, by the way, you can sign up for voluntarily. It's meant for employers to sign their employees up, and this government subsidizes part of it. But you can voluntarily sign up for it and pay the premiums. But even then, those doctors, I don't want people to think that those are not good doctors. They're the same doctors from the private hospitals. They're very good doctors. But the wait times are really long because it is a Social Security hospital system. So if it's not like a life or death situation, you might be waiting for hours or days to be seen, or maybe weeks if it's really not very urgent. And then there's private healthcare, of course, which is what a lot of people end up doing. A lot of people end up self-paying, like they just pay to do most outpatient things. And then when they really have an emergency, they have a catastrophic health insurance plan. And Guadalajara is known to have excellent hospitals. So, I mean, you can be in a better city if you have a medical condition or that is a concern for you. Maybe even living in Lake Chapala, because then you're only an hour away. So, and Lake Chapala also has really good hospitals in the town. But of course, the better specialists are going to be in Guadalajara. So yeah, that's all I want to add about the healthcare, because somebody did ask, like, what are the healthcare options for somebody who might be moving to Mexico in general, they mean, but I just want to address that for anybody wondering. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
No, I mean, I'm going to go for the IMSS one. I'm happy to do that, but it's a very personal decision. You can spend a bit more and have the full blue ribbon treatment as well. So there are options for whatever your budget will allow, really. Yeah.
You're paying you're probably paying what, like $800 a year, Mark?
I haven't paid anything yet because I'm a bit of a procrastinator when it comes to things like health. But I wrote it down somewhere. I can't remember where I wrote it, but that sounds about 3,000 to 7,000 Mexican a year.
Yeah, so like $400 tops a year.
Something like that. Correct.
Yeah, it's based on your age, by the way, for anybody who's wondering. I have the table on our site. Correct,
and also pre-existing conditions. So
yes.
But it'll help. It's sufficient for most of us, I think, if you're prepared to wait, which is not unlike any other public system in many other countries. So, yeah.
I'm going to put the link to how you can get that calculator so that you know, like, how they for anybody who's wondering, you can click on that in the comments.
Okay. Might look at that.
So I want to thank you both, Maricarmen and Mark, for joining me tonight. And I hope that you guys are, for those of you that are watching from home, that you learned maybe one or two nuggets of information, or maybe, you learned a little bit about Guadalajara, and then what sets it apart, what makes it unique. If you're wondering how to find the best rentals, I also have a blog post about that. So I'm going to share that with you guys in the comments. I just shared like some of the sites that people use, what Facebook groups I also recommend, how to search, like actual words to use, what to Google, those kinds of things. So it has a lot of really good information in there.
That's great. So,
yeah. Anything else you want to add to our audience?
I just want to thank you, Mariana.
Yeah,
I think you did a great job. And yes, come to
Absolutely.
Guadalajara, contact us.
Come here.
Come have a beer with us.
Yeah, come and have a beer with Maricarmen.
I will take you up on that. I'm actually going to be in February. I'm going to be there.
it.
So
Yeah.
I will take you up on that. I would
Please
love
do.
to give you a hug in person.
That'll be lovely. Thank you.
Okay. We'll stay in touch.
All right. Thanks, Mariana. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.